Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, whatever time it is for you. Welcome to another session of Mat Class. This is April 2023, and my theme for the month is Theraband. So I'm going to grab my Theraband. I do have a yoga block. Fair warning, I'm a little bit sore from much tennis this past week, so I'm going to be modifying quite a bit, just so you know why I'm modifying a little. Have a yoga block to kind of have a seat a little easier, taller. As you can tell, I'm trying to have my thigh bones just a little higher than the knees. So I have a downward slope and I'm sitting kind of forward of my sit bones. I actually need to move this yoga block a little further back. There we go. That's better. All right, so the theme has been Theraband, and I have my legs as wide as the mat, just a little bit wider probably. Choose what you need. Remember, the Theraband is a very, very soft, pliable, and just easily molds back to where it belongs, meaning the same as our body's elastic recoil capacity. So, okay, paying attention to time, we're going to start with our normal 3 breaths in and out. And I'm going to try to keep my inhale for as long as I can and exhale for as long as I can for the 3 first breath cycles. So let's get started. Excellent. So find your Theraband. Let your thumb crease to your hand hold the Theraband, very loose grip. And all you're going to do is awaken how the arm bones are relating to the collarbones and the shoulder blades at this moment. Finding your tall, upright posture, you're going to let the Theraband go up and somewhere behind your chest. And then you're going to bring it all the way down and let it land on your legs, your thigh bones, wherever they land. Lift up and somewhere behind you. I'm barely pulling on the band, not very much energy at all. Let me make sure I say that out loud. So I want you to think about what's just enough energy to accomplish what you want to this morning, whether it be just being kind to yourself, breathing easy, and doing the smallest amount of reps necessary to focus a little deeper in your practice. The one coming up is number 5 for me. I really love to be deliberate with my movement patterns, just so I can refine them a little bit more into calm, smooth movements rather than abrupt, jerky movements. On the next one, which is number 7 for me, I'm going to keep it back there behind me and trying to keep the upper traps from being invited. I'm going to open from the pinky sides of my hands out and let the band come back toward each other. So I'm literally just pulling out and pulling back in, pulling out, pulling back in. I have a tendency to want to look down, so I'm going to allow my gaze to travel slightly more eye level rather than down, eye socket level. That way my head can float, my chest can stay soft into my back. Last one, that'll be 7. And then I'm going to bring the arms all the way down in front of me. I hope that went well. So now, without much of anything changing, I'm going to lift it up and back somewhere behind me, all the way down behind me. And the thumb sides of my hands are going to separate away from each other as I pull the band out and barely in. Remember, it's not about how much we do something, how well are we focusing on the task at hand, and how am I honoring my body's requests into not overworking. That was 4, 7 of those as well, 5. And 7. Pretty good. And now I'm going to keep it somewhere behind me. Let the palms turn back. The palms were facing forward last time. I'm going to choke a little closer again. And I'm going to hinge my body with a tall, tall spine forward, toes towards my nose. And the same exact thing that we did a moment ago. The pinky sides of our hands go away from each other and they come back toward each other. Simple. And 15 of those if it's available. Breathe and try not to overthink it and try not to have a death grip. How easy can the hand grip be? How am I really connecting to the pinky sides of my hands and not letting the wrists flick side to side? 12, 13, we have to pay attention. 14 and 15. Very nice. I hope you felt the back of the arms a little bit and the sides of the arms a little bit. The pinky sides connect into the sides that connect deep into our shoulder blade, which is super, super important. And then I'm going to bring the band back out in front of me again. Palms turn down to the earth. Exact same movement that we had a moment ago behind us, but this time we're going to go a little wider and back up, back to center. A little wider and back to center. As you notice, my fingers are reaching long, trying to keep the wrists from overworking. Wrists stay long. I'm staying as tall as possible. Where do I feel most of the work? I just feel my shoulder blades kind of sliding and trying to kiss each other, and the arm bones just rolling gently out to the sides and externally rotating slightly. 6, 7, eyes forward, Vidya. 8, 9, 10, and 5 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Excellent. I'm going to let that Theraband go for a moment. I'm going to come off of this yoga block. Oh yeah, I can sit taller a lot easier. And then I'm going to leave the yoga block somewhere near me because I might use it again. Find your Theraband again. Here's our stretching time. I'm going to put the Theraband really soft, broad border around the right foot. This is something we did last week. We're going to continue and add on again. Same thought process. I only have it around the right foot. I'm sitting as tall as available, but I'm going to pelvic tilt, keeping that tall spine in mind instead of shrinking and collapsing into my spine. So I'm going to come back up for a moment and find that deeper pelvic tilt. Just the small of your back changes shape here. And nothing changes, but you're going to let your elbows bend down by your waist and release just that part 7 times. Now pause, come all the way up to sitting up tall. And we're going to talk to the foot and ankle range of motion next. I'm still trying to keep my wrists happy. I'm going to point from the ball of my foot and then spread the toes to reach the toes forward. reach the toes back towards me and then flex at the ankle. Just that part. It should be a nice calf and shin related thought process. And you're just going back and forth like that, starting from the ankle's ability to point the foot through the ball of your foot, and then the toes point, the toes curl back, and then you reach through the heel. And then you reverse that process. So the toes come towards your nose, reaching through the ball, reaching through the toes, toes curl, and then the ball of the foot. Last two. Last one, we're just literally flossing out how the fascia layers connect into the bottom of our feet. Taking a breath in, I choked a little bit closer toward my foot. I'm going to pelvic tilt one more time as I lift that right leg off the ground. My elbows automatically wanted to bend. I'm going to bend my elbows a little deeper to bring the knee as close to my chest as possible and send the leg away. And I'm trying to keep that thigh bone and my foot in a neutral connection. What does that mean? The foot's not going one way, the knee's not going the other way. Really paying attention to how the thigh bone and the leg bone have a conversation with each other. Last two. This is all about the thigh bone rolling deep into the back of the socket. Keep it bent. Roll as far and all the way down onto your back, and then stretch the leg right over the hip. Same hand grip, soft hand grip. Taking it across the body and away from the body. And the thigh bone goes to where the left side of the body does not help much. That means that the range of motion is pretty much predicated by how well our center is keeping the right thigh bone in a happy place. 7 of those. And once you have the 7 externally rotated thigh bone, 7 windshield wipers. We're going to do several windshield wipers today. This is a little different range of motion for my body. And then internally rotated thigh bone position. If this is not available and you have a little bursitis or anything that's uncomfortable, please omit. Never do what I say. Honor your body's requests above all things. And once you have the 7, we take it into leg circles, 7 leg circles. I love using the band because I can kind of literally rest my foot into the band and use it as a way to stretch a little deeper across the body, down, around, and up. I have 2 more, and then I'm going to reverse 7 both directions. Wonderful. So now that I have those 7, I'm going to let the weight of that right thigh bone fold towards my left foot as I roll my way back up. And I'm not crossing it across the midline. I'm just saying it's going to go in line with the right hip as I roll all the way up to sitting. I already feel different. We're going to roll back down. We just have 4 of these. I know what happened to number 7. I like to be odd. Change things up a little. Let this be a very nice and gentle one leg roll up and roll down. Let the weight of the right thigh bone do what it needs to help you. Two more. Excellent. Let the band come out of that right leg and foot and just fold over on top of your thigh bones and notice how different you feel sitting on the right sit bone. Don't you feel like you're sitting a little heavier on the right sit bone? It's pretty nice. And now we'll talk to the left side of our body, finding that awareness again. How am I floating? How am I soft where the thigh bone meets the pelvis area? Trying not to grab, squeeze anything or tighten anything. I've got the band in the left foot in that soft manner again. And I've got my hands close to the feet with the band, both hands on the left side. And then I start with that pelvic tilt, allowing that left leg to float up. Pause there. And then you come right back up. I believe we started with bending and lengthening at the elbows first. So let's do that first. I'm going to bend at the elbows down by my waist and release. I don't remember if we were in a pelvic tilt. You know what? I think we might have been. Let's go back to that pelvic tilt. Woo! And then we'll let that left leg stay as it is. We'll bend at the elbows and release. Who knows? It's okay. I'm just really thankful that I get to stretch. 4, 5, 6, 7. Now I'm going to go ahead and let the leg lift up. I'm going to bend my elbow and my thigh bone and release. I think I might have needed a few extras on this side. That's what it sounds like. Here's 3. I could work with Therabands all day. I love them. 5. Breathe. 6. Yes, and go ahead and smile. It really relaxes the jaw. 7. And then let the weight of that thigh bone roll down and forward. And now we'll go to our one leg roll down and roll up. So we'll bring that leg with us. The thigh bone stays directly over the pelvis. And the right leg is as happy as it can be, nice and long. And we go into windshield wipers, 7 windshield wipers. Trying to keep the thigh bone in the same orientation, that it's not rolling out and in. It's just rolling in this, it's smooth gliding in the socket in neutral. 7 one way. And then 7 in internal rotation first on this side. We'll go to external last. Most people love that the most. Most of us like to live in mild externally rotated thigh bone positions. 5, 6, 7, and then we'll go external rotation. Holy moly. Remember, keep an easy hand grip. Try not to squeeze your hand too much. Eyes directly up and forward slightly rather than behind you. Keep the back of the neck nice and long. And then 7 leg circles. Really stepping into that band, so to speak, with your foot. That way you can really get a nice lengthening feedback. 5, 6, and 7. And then I reverse. Away, around, down, and up. Away, around, down, and up. All right, here we go. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Wonderful. After the leg circles, we come into that lovely sternum fold first. Let the weight of the left thigh bone roll forward to help you roll all the way up to having a seat. Take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt. Let the left leg come with you as you roll your way all the way down onto your back. We just have 4 of those, I believe. Two more. Excellent. All right, so carefully letting that band go. And we're going to put the band around both feet next. I'm pretty sure we did this as well. So we'll finish off with this section and series. I've got my Theraband, I'm pretty close to the feet area. Oh, but I love how much better I'm sitting on my left bum also now. So both of my back of my legs and the front of my thigh bones are a lot happier at this point. So I've got the toes towards my nose, revisiting how deep I can go into a pelvic tilt. Maybe I go so deep into where the small of my back is kissing the earth and stay right there. And the band will kind of pull towards your feet. But how can you rest a little bit more comfortably with your head and neck? Do you still have a bobble? Are you able to soften your gaze? Your eyes are broad. Keep this. I know I'm quivering like a leaf. I'm supposed to be quivering. I'm in a deep, deep layer of my body. So I love being deep. And then you roll your way back up. How many of those are we going for? Just 3. Take a breath in. Exhale, same start. It's kind of like the Theraband is allowing you to get deeper and deeper and deeper because it's similar to our fascial slings in our body. And you're thinking, what the heck are fascial slings? It's all of the information relay between the bones and the muscles, the soft tissue connection that we have in our body. That's where all the relay of feedback into the brain and back to the outside of our body happens. And the skin has a lot of fascial connection. So how can we continually enhance this feedback? And then we roll our way back up by listening to our own body's natural wisdom. So this is our last one. Make it your best one. Keep breathing. Remember, you've curled off of your tailbone and your sit bone, reaching the heels towards the wall in front of you, kind, happy knees. The low back is kissing the earth, essentially in a very deep sternum fold is what this should remind you of and feel like. Yes, I'm quivering. And I love that feeling. And then we roll our way back up. All right, so far so good? I hear you, yes. I can tell you said yes. And now we're gonna let our legs bend, feet on the mat. I'm gonna get a quick sip of water. I got a little thirsty. And then I'm gonna take the Theraband, tie it around my thigh bones, and tie it in a way where it's easy to take off. We're gonna put one knot and then maybe a half of a knot, whatever's easiest for you to be able to just take it off easily. And now I don't want it to be too snug. I have my thigh bones hip width apart, and I feel like I could give myself a little extra feedback. So I'm gonna go ahead and get it a little bit more snug. You don't want it too snug, by the way. All right, and now I can tell I have a little energy. My feet are hip width apart. I'm going to roll all the way down onto my back. Whew, I feel so much better already. And I'm going to bring my heels to where they have a conversation with my sit bones. Kneecaps are pointing directly up. And the ribs, the bottom of the ribs are really resting heavy onto the earth. Collarbones are soft and wide. Breastbone is resting heavy into my backbone. The back of the neck is long. Head, neck, and shoulders are finally happy here. All right. So now, very tiny amount of energy with the band on the outsides of the thigh bone. Without the feet moving much, we press out, in, out, in, out, in. So what are we talking to essentially? We're talking to the thigh bones going away from the body, or called abductors. AB as in boy, ductors of the thigh bone. And slight rotators. Deep, deep emphasis here. Last 4. So 10 of those. Excellent. So now a very tiny, subtle amount of energy outward, and we pelvic tilt. Let the small of your back kiss the earth again, and then release. Just that part. We press slightly out, curl back, and release. And find all corners of your feet pressing equally into the earth as you do these, and then you come back. I'm saying that for myself as much as for whomever's listening. And now on the next one, which is my fifth one, I'm going to curl my tailbone, peel my hips up, and pause in that bridge, finding all corners of my feet equal and tiny amount of energy out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in. Last one. And then we roll our way down. I need a tiny break for the left thigh bone, a tiny break for the right thigh bone, and I come back to center. So same start. Take a breath in, exhale, curl your tailbone, peel your hips up. Wonderful. So the bum is invited, but try not to clench it so much or squeeze it too much. The front of the hips are hopefully open. If you stretched your arms and your elbows, maybe the front of the hips are kissing your forearms and your elbows. And that only means that you should also have your ribs falling into the hammock of your spine. Take a breath in to prepare. Nothing changes. You're going to stretch the right leg in line with the left thigh bone and then put it back. And then stretch the left leg in line with the right thigh bone and you put it back. Right leg and back. The band is helpful to find your center. Right and left. So you press slightly out as you stretch and you come in. You press slightly out, stretch, and you come in. Last one. Quite a challenge, I know. And then we roll our way back down. I can tell my left foot wanted to go way left. So I have to focus very, very deeply. And now last one here, take a breath in. Exhale, pelvic tilt, same thought process. We're going to come back into that bridge. This time, as we let our arms lift up and back, we press out on the band. The band comes back to soft as the arms come back down. Press out, arms go up and back to center. Keep the bridge. How many? Just 7. We revisit the number 7. Lucky number 7. Is the big toe border of your feet still talking to the earth? Little toe border of the feet still talking to the earth? I believe this is 7. I've lost count. And then I roll my way all the way back down. Wonderful. So keep this connection of where the band is. We're going to roll over onto the side. I'm going to roll towards you first. So I'm going to lie on my left side of my thigh bone with the band. And I'm going all the way down onto my left side. Remember, if you need a soft pillow, a blue ball, whatever you need for your neck, whatever makes you happy, find your head to tail connection. If you use a wall for this, this is actually a very great way of learning how to be on your side body a little bit better. The right sit bone is directly on the right corner of the bum is directly on top of the left corner of the bum. That way the pelvis hasn't rolled too far back or too far forward. And I'm in a clam shape already. My feet are kissing each other. My right thigh bone is open already. So now all I'm going to do is in this subtle external rotation of that right thigh bone, I'm going to enhance it by pushing out with the band and releasing. Pushing out, releasing. Pushing out, releasing. I know. Believe me, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you're thinking, how many is she going for? 15, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Stretch that right leg nice and long. So you kind of have a little diagonal with the band. And now you're going to think of that right thigh bone going slightly behind the front of the right hip. And then you bring it right back to underneath the bum. So how can the heel lead the way as it goes behind you? So you should feel it somewhere in the deep sit bone area of your right bum. These are very subtle, by the way, and it's very tempting to let the thigh bone do little and the hip roll back. Try not to. Let the pelvis stay fairly quiet. Allow the thigh bone to swing like a pendulum behind you. Last few. 15 of those as well. 9. I know my bum is talking. 10. This is a good thing. 11. It's opening the front of this hip space in a very kind way. So keep the low belly lift the whole time as the thigh bone goes behind you. 14 and 15. Wonderful. And then I'm going to bend that leg. Let it rest on top of the other thigh bone. Woo. Yes, we are going to the other side immediately. So I'm going to push myself up, roll around, same love for the other side. Lie all the way down on my side, finding that wall from head to tail. Left bum directly on top of the right bum. Head, neck, and shoulders happy. Good. And now from there, 15. Opening of the left thigh bone and folding back. It's not a large range of motion. If you could imagine half of a foot distance, meaning 6 inches, it's so tiny. 8, 9. I'm not even sure I'm going 6 inches really. 11. Oh, this bum loves to tire out fast. 13. Holy moly. 14. 15. And then I'm going to stretch that left leg directly long in line with the bum and the hip, having a conversation, bum and the heel having a conversation. And now I go behind me and back to center, behind me and back to center. It's all the thigh bone rolling in the socket. 3, low belly stays lifted. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Excellent. Bend that leg. Oh, let it rest. Push yourself up and out. And now unwind the Theraband. And let's come up to sitting. And if you need to sit again on a throne, by all means, please do so. We're going to go along opening our side bodies next. So I'm going to take my Theraband up and over above my head. Remember the head and neck. If you could imagine you're in a picture frame, I'm just going to go ahead and turn towards you so you can actually have a good visual. And I have my legs as wide as I can possibly go, toes up to the sky. And the head and neck really do not change much as I tilt my head and neck over to the left. And now from that connection, I'm going to let the left arm pull down on the band and let it come back to where it was. Easy shoulders. Number 2, trying to keep the right wrist happy, reaching long. Right shoulder happy. The head has tilted. 5, 6. It's okay to sit on a throne doing these. 7 and 8. And then we come back. So we're just going for 8 apparently. Take a breath in. Exhale, tilting up and over towards the right this time. Remember, the head stays between the same area. You just tilted it a little. The left wrist and palm are reaching forward. Happy shoulders. And now the right hand reaches down away from the left hand. 3. You could imagine collarbone to collarbones getting broad. 6. Head staying in the same line as the spine. 7 and 8. And then we come right back. So now from there, we're going to go into a mermaid position. Same thought process. Here's my left leg in front of me, right leg back. I'm going to go up and over towards the left side. Keep it there. This time I'm going to rotate towards the earth, choke a little bit closer, and then pull as I come back and go somewhere behind me, and paying attention to the wrists again. I have to give myself reminders, just like me having to give you reminders. So the arm is still rolling around happily in the socket. trying to be as mindful as possible to keep the shoulder happy. The upper traps are trying to come into play, but they're not invited to this party. It's all about the upper right side of the collarbone, shoulder, rib area rotating. Here's number 4 for me. 5. And 6. 2 more. 7. And 8. Woof. And then coming back, let that Theraband go and just notice if you take both arms out to the side and we take the right arm up to go over to open up the right side and come back and take the left arm up to go over. Can you tell how light your right arm feels compared to the left arm? I sure hope you can, because boy, I feel so different side to side. I can't wait to do the other side. I'm going for 5 of these mermaids though before I go to the other side. I just want to honor all of that space between the lungs and the heart that I've created on the right side, and just give that whole right side a little extra love. And this is my 5th one. Here we go. We're here. And then we're going to let the legs come out in front of us, a little balancing section, and then we'll swing it back. So now find your Theraband again. Arms go up above, easy shoulders. We go into that side bend. Let that right hand land, easy shoulders, trying to stay broad across the wrists and the elbows. And we're going to twist towards the earth. And we lift it up, and somewhere behind us, twist towards the sky and the heavens. Twist towards the earth. Twist behind us. So I've got the band, holding the band with the right hand and pulling with the left hand. So pushing on the right side and pulling on the left side. I think that was just 3. Here's 4. And 5. And 6. 7. And 8. Letting that band go. Oh yeah. Arms nice and wide. And we get to go up and over towards the left side. That's just how my brain works. I always go to the same side over and over. And then we go up and over towards the right side. Right shoulder's happy, left shoulder's happy. They're always trying to stay as happy as possible as the arm just rolls around gently in the socket. Side to side. 5 mermaids again. This is my 3rd one. And last one. Very, very nice. All right. Same thought process. My hands were helping me a moment ago, right? I'm going to let my legs come off the ground from that zigzag to a little bit like teaser. And I'm going to put my feet down in front of me. Take the soles of my feet together, knees open, just because now I have this capacity to let the thigh bones rotate outward a lot easier. It was quite rough this morning, so here we go. And you're just stretching for a moment, seeing, wow, I have lots more space where the thigh bone and the pelvis meet at this point already. So there's a lot more to come, right? Let's grab the Theraband again and put it somewhere near us, because we're going to go back to our side lying position. You're going to lie on your left side. And here's my Theraband again. I know you thought you were done after that large twisting. But we're going to combine how the leg kick forward, leg kick back happens with the Theraband right now. So I'm going to stretch my right leg nice and long. I'm up and out of my shoulder. If this is not available, can you be all the way down on your side? Absolutely, yes. It's really easy to slump into your shoulder blades. Try not to. Lift up and out of that shoulder. Right leg is stretched out nice and long. I'm going to extend from my right elbow all the way to reach towards the right foot. The right leg swings forward, right arm stays long, and it swings back. Right arm stays long. And now I'm just doing single arm, single leg adventure with the Theraband. Something similar to what we did with that twisted, but it's so different because there's so much more range of motion. 7, stay up and out of that bottom shoulder. Let your left ribs lift up and float into the right ribs. 9, 10, keep it back there. And now bend from the elbow, kick it back. Bend from the elbow, kick it back. Try to be kind to the wrist. Let the pinky side of your wrist and your hand do a little bit more work. And yes, I'm in a little twisted position. 4. It's all about the triceps right now. 5. I wish. The whole body has to organize itself. 7 and 8. That's it. And then let it come back. Lie all the way down on your side again. So you're nice and stretched out. You're going to glue the legs together. Your arm can be wherever you need it. You can cradle your head in it, or you can just stretch it nice and long. Both feet flex. Bring your legs glued together just a few inches in front of you. Find that wall again that was behind you. Keeping the hips stacked, one on top of each other, so to speak. The top hand can come into a prong. You're going to lift both legs up and lower it back down. 15 of those. 3. Inner legs, inner ankles, inner thighs, all talk to each other. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Holy moly. 9. 10. Yes, your waistline should be feeling a little love here. 12, 13, 14, 15. Can we keep it there? Keep it. Is your right shoulder still happy? Are your eyes still broad? Is your neck happy? Do you feel the quiver? 4, 3, 2, and lower back down. Excellent. Push yourself up and out. Let's grab the Theraband again. We'll switch sides again. I know we're going back and forth quite a bit today. Lots of thought process in my brain. So here we go. I've got one end of the Theraband in my right hand, and my right elbow is down, and I'm up and out of that right shoulder. Left leg is nice and long. Left arm is nice and long, reaching. I take a nice inhale. I swing the leg forward. Exhale, swing the leg back. Head and tail floating. 3, 4, 5. No, it's been a tough series so far. 7. I don't remember how many we did on the other side. 9. We'll say 10. Maybe we did 15. I'll go for 15. 11. 12. 13. 14. Keep it. And now we bend at the left elbow and kick it back. So pinky side of the hand and forearm or the lower arm get a little extra love. Stay up and out of the shoulder. Head tilts towards the right to help you. 4, 5. I don't remember either. 6. Let's say 10. 7, 8, 9, and 10. Excellent. And then we'll let the Theraband go. We'll lie all the way down on our side, extending that arm. Hips stacked one on top of each other. Hand comes back out in front of you if you need it for a prong. This is the side that's quite challenging for my body. Bring your legs glued together, flexed in front of you just slightly. Take an inhale to prepare. Exhale, float and lower. Both legs glued together, inner legs, inner thighs, all the way up the front of the body. Lifting up towards your throat. So if you could imagine your belly button is staying soft in this area, that's very helpful. That way you're not using the superficial areas. We're using the deep, deep connections next to the bone. I think we went for 15 of these guys, and then we held for 15, 8, 9, 10. I should have put a little padding underneath the right side. 11, 12, 13, low belly lifts, and 15. I keep it there. Easy shoulders. 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Let's go onto our bellies since we're already almost there from that connection. Oh yeah, I feel so much better already. I hope you guys do too. My collarbones and my shoulders feel really broad. I can tell that the small of my back is in a much happier place. Wonderful. All right, so now I'm on my belly. I've got my my hands stacked one on top of each other, my forearm resting on the back of the hands. And then I'm just going to shrug the shoulders up and down 5 times, just so I know where they're supposed to rest along the sides of the ribs. Broad and easy. And then I'm going to keep that connection. Happy collarbones, happy airway. I take a breath in. Exhale, let that left leg lift off the ground, reaching it as long as it can away from the earlobe. Least amount of energy necessary. I'm going to lift the left knee off the ground, bend at the knee and lengthen. Bend and lengthen. And I'm bending very little. I just want to talk to where the bum meets the thigh bone area. 3, 2, and 1. And then release everything back down. If you need a little windshield wiper, I kind of did with my left leg. Oh my gosh, I've gotten so much longer. I need to move up on the mat. That's pretty crazy. I don't know if you guys can see how much longer the left toes are reaching. Here we go. Same thought process. Relaxed shoulders, broad neck, and then we let the right leg lift off the ground by letting it reach away from the earlobe. Least amount of energy necessary. And then we bend at the knee and release. And remember, the bend doesn't have to go where the leg kicks the bum. That's not the object. The object is how deep into the bum meeting the thigh bone area can I talk to. 5, 6, 7. I know my knees are making all kinds of noises. 8, 9, and 10. And then I release everything back down. So in the classic repertoire, there's this wonderful exercise called rocking. We're going to go for half rocking today. So I'm going to release my left hand, let my forehead rest on the back of my right hand, reach for my left leg or foot. Here's where the Theraband would be really helpful. If you're one of those who cannot reach your foot, you can loop the Theraband around the foot and meet me by holding onto the Theraband. You should loop it around the ankle and hold the edges of the Theraband with your hand. And then from there, I'm just going to let my left thigh bone reach so far away, the kneecap points away, and I float that knee off, float my head off, turn and look at the left foot. It's a lovely stretch for the front of the left thigh bone and hip. And then I come back to center and let it go. So this time, instead of turning and looking left, I'm going to turn and look right. As I let my left knee barely lift off the ground, and then I lower back down. 1 more each side, so 4 altogether. I turn and look towards the same side. And I let that energy go. I'm kicking my foot into my hand and my hand into my foot, so to speak. Using my hand and my foot as a tool, but not pulling too much. And then release. Did that go okay? How ridiculously long do you feel on the left leg again? So here we go. Same thought process and love for the right side. Releasing the right hand, grabbing the right foot. If you needed to use the Theraband, I'll give you an extra couple of moments. By all means, be kind to yourself. Take a breath in. Exhale, find how the right ankle is resting into your right hand. No unhappy thoughts. And then float the leg and the knee off the ground. Turn and look towards the right foot. And release. Take a breath in. Same thought process. You're kicking the ankle into your hand and the hand is pulling you away from the shoulder. And you turn and you look left this time and then you come back to center. We turn and we look right and we come back to center. We turn and we look left and we come back to center. We let it go. I forgot we just did 2 on each side. How quickly do I forget? All right, so from there, we're going to go into our baby swan. What does that mean? I'm going to take my hands to the sides of my mat, close to the corners of my eyes. Take a breath in and then exhale. Just allow your head, neck, and eyes to look slightly forward, where the bottom of the ribs in the front are still talking to the ground. It's like you're just letting your breastbone and your heart shine forward. And notice how by letting the palms press down into the earth and the elbows kind of hugging your side body a little, that you can still feel between the shoulder blades again. And now without anything changing, can you let the right hand and the forearm lift off the ground and put it right back down? And then the left hand and the left forearm off the ground and you put it back down. So the right hand, right elbow, and you come back, left hand, left elbow. Trying not to weight shift too much. It's keeping this tiny extension from the upper back connection, keeping the airway open back and forth. 1 more round each side, please. Breathing whatever feels good. Remember, there's no need for clenching the bum. Belly button stays lifted, and then relax everything. Push yourselves up and back into a child's pose. Oh, I didn't know if I could go there today. Yay! And then come back on your hands and knees for a moment. And let's go into a couple of cat-cows. I just realized time is skipping away. So we're going to puff our back into that happy cat shape. Stick our chest out into cow. Puff your back into a cat shape. Stick your chest out into cow. 2 more. And last one, puff. And stick your chest out. So on the next one, we're going into a drinking lion thought process. So we're going to puff our back, sit back towards our heels with that spine rounded. Let your elbows bend. Stick your chest out as you let your head go through your hands and dip your breastbone down and then look up slightly. Puff your back. Sit back towards your heels. Stick your chest out as you let your elbows bend wide. Let the chin touch the ground maybe, and then reach through your arms to come back up. Exhale, lift up, threading through the arms. Drinking lion. We're just drinking something that we can find, and then we come back. Last one, guys. I know this is quite a challenge sometimes. Very nice. So here we go. We're going to have a seat. We're going to go into a little quicker pace for a moment. Legs nice and long out in front of you. Oh yeah, different feeling. And then pelvic tilt. Drag the right leg, hold behind the right thigh bone, hold behind the left thigh bone, supported teaser. Both legs stretch up, both legs bend. Both legs stretch up, both legs bend. Both legs stretch up. We keep it there. Arms nice and long. We roll back to the tip of the shoulder and we roll right back up. So a rolling teaser. Use a little momentum, it's okay. Let the weight of the thigh bones help you swing back and forth. Last one. Keep it there. Seal puppy, we're gonna go inside with the elbow to the thigh bone, and then the hand comes around the feet. We're gonna go for 3 seal puppies, and then we're gonna come up to standing. So we flap, 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 rock back, flap, 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 rock up, flap, 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 rock back, flap, flap, flap. Last one. And then we let go, we come up to standing. Woo! That was a little bit of a challenge for this body this morning. There we go, we end with a little bit of plank and push-ups. Why not, right? That's what you're thinking. We're so close though, I promise. Arms up to the sky. And just notice how much better you're able to stand upright, how broad you feel across the chest, how wide the back feels at this point. Exhale, forward fold, let everything go. Head and neck shake, yes. Head and neck shake, no. And then walk your hands out into your plank. Pause in your plank. And breathe. Find it. Low belly lifts, head floating, broad collarbones. You could always be on your forearms for this plank section. And if available, 10 push-ups. If not, kneeling push-ups. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, hips up and back into downward dog. We just get to go into a pigeon stretch next. So take the right leg up to the sky, open the right knee as far back, broad, happy collarbones and shoulders, head and neck dangling. Swing the right leg out in front of you to go into your pigeon. Whatever pigeon feels good for you. I'm always a rotation and upright pigeon kind of gal. So that's where I'm going. Easy shoulders. Because it's about the right bum corner of the right thigh bone stretching, the small of the right side of my back stretching, and the front of the left thigh bone stretching. So I want to honor all of these touch points. One more breath cycle. And then we come back. Off the back toes to help you lift into that 3-legged dog again. Bring that right leg back. Oh yeah. Take the left leg up to the sky. Open. And then bring that left knee down in front of you. Take it into your pigeon. Same happy broad collarbones. Left corner of the bum and thigh bone. Left small of my back stretching, right front of the thigh bone stretching. Really being present and mindful with what I want to accomplish right now. Instead of going back into that 3-legged dog after one more breath cycle, we'll just meet in center with just a seated pose to see how much easier it feels to have a seat. 3 full breath cycles and we'll be done. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week. We'll explore more Theraband next week.